Welcome back, everybody, to the Nerdcore Podcast, the podcast that reviews the movies and talks that nerd shit. This is episode 738, and it is your review of I Stand Alone. It is the first review in Gaspar Noé month here on the Nerdcore. It is my month that I selected for us to do because last year was Brad's month, and this month is mine, so I get to do it now. Brad, of course, before we go ahead and get into dude, I'm all over the place. This episode is live, early, and ad-free over on patreon.com/thenerdcore, where you can get this episode live, early, and ad-free for $1 a month at the $1 tier. And, of course, this is an Energy Kind of Hero show. I'm our wonderful co-host, Brad Young Yoda.
What's up, everybody? Welcome to a wonderful, what's today? Wednesday?
Wednesday.
I don't know what day it is because it's freezing.
Amen.
Amen. Yeah. Welcome to the new platform.
We're very much trying to learn it.
Yeah, we got cool lightning going on. Look at that.
Yeah.
Yep, and I got little sounds I can use to annoy Raul with. There you go.
I think tomorrow we're gonna try with this one again. But then on Friday, for the Saturday and Sunday live shows, I'm going to go to Restream. I don't know if we get a free trial with Restream, though, so I don't want to pay.
Yeah.
And then...
We might just be doing this.
I don't know. We'll see. Brad, I like how much customization we have here. There's so much customization.
Once you figure it out.
But I just don't know how much...
I wish people could see how we interacted before this. It'd be like, I don't know how to fucking do this. And I'm just like... clicking shit. I'm like, oh. Yeah. That.
Usually Brad's the one who doesn't know how to do this shit.
I just randomly clicking shit. I'm like, yeah, I got it, dog.
Yeah. But I'm going to keep trying my best. And that's honestly the best I can do, right? That's the only thing I can do. But if Restream looks like it's easier, then, thank you, Brad. Thank you. Yeah. But it's going to be pretty tough. I'm going to try to figure it out. But I'm going to try my best here. But... Brad, how are you doing today?
I'm doing all right. Trying to stay warm. It snowed. It's freezing. My heater's going, so we'll see. I don't have to be to work till 10 tomorrow. Hopefully everything thaws out, but we'll see.
All right. Yeah, Brad. I just went to work today. That's it.
Yeah.
I worked, and I went ahead and played some Marvel Rivals for a little bit, and then I watched this film.
Stacy in the chat. Welcome, Stacy, to the new platform.
What I like about this, though, is that, look at that, man. It's going to go down on its own. Nerdcore Podcast filmed in front of a live studio audience. Exactly, Stacy. It's nice to see you in chat here. And like that, Brad did not have to take it off.
No, I don't have to do anything. I just clicked it once.
Just had to click it, man. Yeah, that's one of the things that I really like about this because let's be honest, we forget to do a lot of that shit. Yeah. And something that I noticed, StreamYard doesn't have what's it called? It doesn't have fucking Kick integration to the chat, and this does. So I think that's pretty fucking cool.
Yeah. Are we streaming to Kick now?
No, not right now because we're live and early on for them on.
Got it. Okay.
Yeah. But yeah, I'm just I'm really excited, man. I'm really excited to get to this, Brad. Dude, I mean, I'm really gonna put you to the ringer this month, Brad.
Yeah, after this, I'm gonna go watch Come and See. So go watch that before I go have a good night's rest.
Yeah. Sorry, man. I'm really about to put you through it, Brad. But you know what, man? I made sure that just made sure that I'm gonna give you the best ever, Brad. The best ever, Brad. But Yeah, I wanted to check. I wanted us to do this filmmaker because Brad responded really well to Climax. So I said, let's see what we can do here, Brad. Let's see what we can do here. And Brad's gonna either hate me after this month, or he's going to be like, you know what, Brad, Raul,
Or he's going to appreciate.
not really appreciate, more like, you know what, man, I know who you are, I know what you watch. This is nowhere near being, what's it called, being out of the norm, out of the.
I mean, you would think I'd probably be used to it after almost 8 years.
Yeah.
So, I mean, like if there's body horror and stuff.
I think there's gonna be a lot more than that, Brad.
Okay. Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, there was a few things in this that were questionable for sure, but
Yeah. But Brad, without beating around the bush, Brad, I've selected a lot of films from him this month, and this is the first one. We're gonna look at his first feature-length film, and I think we should just probably get into it, right, Brad?
Mm-hmm. And it is not Godsmack's I Stand Alone, although we were listening to that before.
I fucking love
I
this.
stand alone.
You're so stupid. You're so stupid. But you know what, man? That's just what happens when Brad and I just, that's what happens when we're like this.
Someone's
we
gotta
like
keep
this?
you from fucking losing it.
Yeah, apparently, Brad. Apparently. But with that said, let's go ahead and do this thing, Brad. So, without further ado, let's go ahead and get into this, Brad. So, if you guys have not watched I Stand Alone, you should probably get out of here if you care about spoilers. But if you don't care about spoilers, or you've already seen the film, go and stay. This is your one and only spoiler warning, and it is in effect after these words from our sponsors in a 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Today's episode of the Nerdcore is brought to you by SeatGeek. Whether you want to see your favorite band, sports team, or comedian, SeatGeek has you covered. We're proud to be partnering with SeatGeek to offer you $10 off your first order with code THENERDCORE. That's $10 off your first order at SeatGeek.com with code THENERDCORPS. So take a seat at your next live event with SeatGeek. Thank you. Now let's get back to today's video. Wait, this isn't a Creed song? No, Stacy, you're in the wrong I Stand Alone, Brad. Like, Stacy, is I Stand Alone even a Creed song? I don't think it is a Creed song. I might be fucking wrong. I don't know. Yeah.
Nope, sung by Godsmack.
Yeah. Wrong. You're wrong.
Wrong, Stacy.
Oh my god. Yeah, man. Yeah. But with that said, Brad, let me go ahead and read this here. So let me do this thing here. I Stand Alone, French contre toi, Alone Against Everyone is a 1998 French psychological drama art film written and directed by Gaspar Noé, who in his directorial debut and starring Philippe Nahon, rest in peace, Blandine Lenoir, Francky Payne, and Martine Adrian. The film, focusing on several pivotal days in the life of a butcher facing abandonment, isolation, rejection, and unemployment, was the director's first feature-length production and is a sequel to his 1991 short film, Carne. The film premiered at Cannes Film Festival in 1998 and received favorable reviews from critics. I wouldn't even call it Carne. It's just, I wouldn't even call it a sequel. It's like, it's re-adapting it. It's just expanding on it. I wouldn't call that a sequel. Because it's literally like, most of this movie is the short film. But the film is produced by Lucille Chazilovich and Gaspar Noé. That is his wife. Cinematography by Dominique Collin. Edited by Lucille Chazilovich and Gaspar Noé. And sits at about an hour and 32 minutes, and it made $54,735. $54,735.
Okay. That's what I thought you said. Okay.
Yeah. You thought I said 54 million?
No, I thought you said 54,000.
I was like, no, yeah, I said 54,000.
Okay.
Yeah.
I'm not used to the 1,000 number. We're
No.
talking about box office.
But Brad, this is the second time I've watched I Stand Alone. I watched Carne once, and
How long is Carne?
shit, like 20 minutes, I think. 38 minutes. Yeah, it's not that long.
So he added basically another hour to this movie.
Yeah, which, like, I mean, I haven't seen it in a while, Brad, so I can't even tell you. But
Yeah.
I thought, what's it called? I thought Carne was actually pretty damn good. So it is not hard for you to see what movie influenced this. I think it is very clear that Gaspar wants to make Taxi Driver. He wants to make Taxi Driver.
Yeah.
Taxi Driver is one of his favorite movies of all time. He says his idol was Travis Bickle, which I don't know, if that's a good thing to say.
I don't know how I feel about that.
Yeah, but it's very clear that the butcher's supposed to be Travis Bickle.
Yeah.
I really like this movie. I really like this movie because it goes into territory that a lot of movies don't go into. It does very much feel like shock value at times, though, and I think that that's where he kind of does like where it's kind of weak because he's kind of just like trying to test the audience. Like the whole 30-second the whole 30-second countdown, I think is stupid. I think it's so stupid. I think if you're gonna show something to the audience that is going to disturb them.
Oh, you mean the danger? The danger.
Yeah, you have 30 seconds to get out of the theater.
Yeah.
And it's counting you down. I think it's so stupid. I think that is so dumb. I don't think that anybody should be given that. I think, you should experience things like this. And, if you're going to experience it, if you sat down there to buy a ticket, oh, well, you're going to be there for the experience.
But isn't that kind of like the old school way of going like, oh, this is a trauma alert before we get into, talking about certain subjects?
I have no idea, Brad. All I know is that, that I found that really dumb. I found that really dumb. And then danger. I'm like, come on, man.
Danger.
Like, it just, to me, it's silly. It's very silly. And he never does it again after this. Ever. He never does it ever again. So, that means he probably learned from it. But it's a good movie, but I just think that it borrows a little too much from Taxi Driver to the point that at points it feels kind of like parody. Mm-hmm. But he does expand upon a lot of the ideas that Martin Scorsese brings up in Taxi Driver. And he kind of goes into like this odd battle between the ego and the superego. And like talking about what is in the subconscious and what is in the conscious. And yeah, Brad, what are your initial thoughts?
I thought this movie was pretty good. I quite liked it. Surprisingly, and I agree, there is some shock value into this. There's the whole. It's one of those, and for some reason, Raul likes a lot of movies where the main character is just such a piece of shit that you can't really get behind them.
Yeah.
In any form, and that's fine. I mean, I've grown used to it. But this is a character where it's hard to say this, but it's a character, if he would just like die, like the world would probably be better off. That's just how I feel like after watching this movie, because like anything he touches kind of turns to shit, and then he just hurts everyone around him. But again, you got a guy who went to jail for 10 years, comes out, and basically he blames everyone else except himself for what's happened to him and why he can't make money and why he's unhappy in this marriage and that he doesn't want this child and that he's being forced to do this and this and this. And it's kind of like watching a man spiral, which I think is kind of the whole best part of the film. Is you're just like, this man, at some points you're like, oh, this man's gonna, he's gonna get a job and he's gonna work his way like he says, and then it's like, no, that doesn't happen, because he was apparently such a big piece of shit back in the day that nobody wants to give him any money or a job. So but I think it was well done. I think it's well written. I like the cinematography in it. The ending is definitely a shock value, and it leaves. It just makes it very concrete on how much I despise this guy. Because that father-daughter relationship is kind of tragic for the daughter, and
You think?
he's reprehensible in that matter. But I before that I thought it was kind of cool how you go into his mind and he's having these thoughts and images on how he should end things, and then you're back to the present and he's deciding not to, but he's deciding not to because he's sexually attracted to his daughter, and yeah, that's I mean a lot of shock value in Gaspar's movies, so it wasn't
Yeah.
unexpected, but I think it was very well done.
Yeah, and you know that's where I think like you know a lot of his movies after this, it's like okay, cool. It's like there's a lot of like there's obviously going to be shock value, um, but I think it's more necessary shock value where it does really make sense to the story.
Yeah,
In this, it feels very like I don't know. To me, it feels very one note at times. But like I said, I really like it though. Like I really like this movie, and I think that it's great for where he starts.
well, and I think you just see this man needs anger management because he goes in different just routes of okay, I'm going to kill this guy because he won't give me a job, and you know I used to be his like number one customer as a butcher, and so I'm going to kill this guy. And he goes on for like 20 minutes. I'm going to kill this guy, and then he goes to the bar, and then he gets made fun of at the bar because he can't afford the fucking beer, and he loses his temper, and he's like, I'm going to kill those guys. And then at the basically in his bedroom, he's like, I'm going to kill everyone, and then he's like, I only have 3 bullets, so you know.
Yeah, yeah. It's quite. Yeah, it's like okay, all right.
I do have to admit that the scene where the daughter's bleeding out, whew, that's a rough scene to watch.
Oh yeah,
Because she is writhing on the ground and she's just continuous bleeding, and you're like you're wanting it to stop, but Gaspar just kind of sticks onto it and just keeps it going for I don't know how long she was bleeding out. It had to be at least 5 minutes.
yeah, yeah. I mean, she's just there, and like but I mean, you go through this whole story about like how you know what's it called? He gets with this woman. This woman, what's it called, gets pregnant. She leaves him because she's having a woman, a girl, and it's just it's a pretty brutal what's it called? A way that he just kind of like takes care of his daughter, and he ends up like developing feelings. It's crazy. I only got 3 bullets, so some of you might have to share. You know the whole like if you line them up
Yeah,
correctly and just like yeah.
yeah. Have to do some Max Payne shit right there.
But I do like the whole internal monologue. I think that's really cool, and it also like kind of leads you down to the whole taxi driver unreliable narrator.
But there's some stuff that Gaspar does in this, and then he kind of just leaves it. The whole where he finds work at the elder care center, and he ends up holding the hand of a woman dying. And I guess the scene basically says that even watching a woman die doesn't change him for any of the better. He doesn't change his ways, and he's
Yeah,
kind of still a piece of shit. To the point where he gets angry at his wife, and then he punches his pregnant wife in the stomach.
yeah, it's fucking crazy, don't you think?
Yeah,
But I mean, it's just it's a like I said, it's a good film. I don't know how, like if I don't know if I'd say like it's his best because it's I don't think it's not I don't think it is. Um, but I think that it's definitely good starting ground, and it definitely ends up getting into what's it called more of the territory that he starts to work within. I think it's really cool that he mixes it with between like 60 millimeter film and CinemaScope, which I thought was really cool because it's like has this super wide, but then he just goes to like this regular like aspect ratio of 60 millimeter. So I thought that was really fascinating. But yeah, I mean nothing that like he doesn't have like really the great DP that he starts to work with and like later, and he doesn't have like a really like what's it called like he doesn't start working with like the people from fucking what's their name Daft Punk yet. So it's just kind of like it's like it's this idea from his like short film, and he expands it some more, and I like it, but I don't think it's as great as all of his other work. Like definitely not better than Climax.
no, not better than Climax, but I was going into this going, Okay, this is an older movie. I wonder, and I did like the cinematography in this. I thought it was done well, because this is probably a bare bones budget movie.
Yeah, yeah. Um, but Brad, what do you think about the what do you think about like the shock? Like, do you think did it really get to you, or are you kind of like, oh, like this is whatever?
I think I don't know if the shock. I mean, there were certain certain scenes, the bloody scenes. I don't think I was really shocked about it because I kind of figured it was coming, especially at the scene with his daughter where he shoots his daughter. I think the only shock value was like at the very end where he's like, "I'm going to live because I love my daughter." But he like sexually loves his daughter and he doesn't care what anyone thinks, and I'm just like, okay, that's kind of gross. So I think
Yeah,
that was more like shocking than any of the violent stuff. The violent stuff, I don't think was too gruesome or anything.
yeah,
I mean, comparatively to what we've watched before. Um, but I think it had a point in the scene because he's going into his mind and he's imagining what he's going to do.
yeah,
And then he doesn't end up doing it, which is a lot of this movie is he's talks a big game and he says a lot of stuff that he's going to do, but then he never does anything.
yeah. Well, it's the fight between the. I think I'm saying it correct. The like the ego and the super ego.
Yeah.
It's like what you can and you can't do. You know, like the things that in your brain that you subconsciously don't even know that you want to do. It's just for him, it seems to be like, damn, I know that I want to do this.
Yeah, like right on the surface of wanting to do that.
Yeah,
Um, but I don't know. He just I mean it's definitely the spiral of a very um, angry person, angry man, very flawed man. And it's hard to keep your eyes off the screen.
it is. It is really hard. It is hard to like get what's it called? Stop looking at this, right? Like it's kind of crazy that's the case, don't you think? Like
Hmm.
you just can't get your eyes off of it. Which I don't know if it says more about us or the film, but
I don't know. We've watched.
yeah,
I mean, I've watched like a lot of body horrors before this now,
yeah,
and so I mean, it wasn't the shock value with the violence wasn't there. I think it's more the themes
yeah.
and some of the issues it brings up that was more shocking than the violent aspect.
I agree. I agree. I think the incest is a lot more shocking than the actual violence.
Yeah.
And, he does end up, you know, succumbing to those feelings that he has, and he ends up acting
Which
on it.
which makes you feel just horrible for the daughter.
Oh, yeah. Of course. Of course. But yeah, Brad, I don't think it's as strong as his other work, and I think that it's good, but I don't love it. I think it's a really good movie, but I don't love it. I don't. I think it's just. I also do think they need to clean this movie up. I think they
Yeah,
really need to
probably.
get this. You
But
know.
I don't know because I kind of like the gritty aspect of it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Put it at least on Blu-ray then.
Okay.
It's like stuck on DVD.
Yeah, I can agree with that.
Yeah. But Brad, what's your final verdict?
I think I'm gonna give it a 7.5 out of 10.
All right. I give it an 8, man. I think it's actually
That is
wait, hold
good.
on. Hold on, man. Let me double check that.
Let me.
Yeah. Yeah, cuz what's it called? There's some other ones that I'm going to probably give an 8 to, and I'm like, okay, I like these way more um than I Stand Alone. Brad, fucking stop, Brad. Stop.
Sorry.
What did I give this? Oh wow. Yeah, I'm going to give this a 7.5, Brad.
Okay.
I feel the same way. I think that this is a pretty good movie, but I don't think it's what's it called? It's great. I don't think it's a pretty good movie. I just don't think it's great.
Yeah.
Um,
I mean, I think well, this is a debut. I mean, as a
yeah,
directorial debut and as a directorial debut, I think it's great as a directorial debut.
yeah. He did what's it called? Take the whole warning text from a movie called Homicidal from 1961.
Hmm.
I still think it's kind of dumb. I still think it's very silly. Um, but yeah, I think it's silly.
I don't know.
But
I didn't hate it. But at the same, I kind of though I'm kind of agreeing with you just because I don't know. Maybe what 1998? Oh, not 1998. I mean, they were showing shit in that year that was pretty rough. So yeah, I don't know, necessarily think the danger was needed. It didn't really ruin the film for me though.
I don't think either. It irks me. It's the same way I feel about like, trigger warnings with films. And I think that, art should be experienced as it is. If you want to watch it or you don't, I don't think you should be warned about it. I think that it's something that needs to be experienced. And it's okay if you don't want to watch it. If you hear about what's in these movies and you don't want to watch them, then I completely understand. But I don't think a warning needs to be put on a movie. And you need to be told that you need to avoid this even though you went in there and you sat down to watch it. So, it's just something I disagree with. Something that I don't believe in. And a whole fucking 30 seconds for people to get out so they don't see that. It's just like, I think it's kind of silly.
Yeah, probably.
Yeah. Yeah, we'll see if that gets us canceled, Brad. With that said, that concludes our review. And, of course, thank you guys so much for joining us. As always, keep up to date with us on nerdcore.com, Twitter at the Nerdcore _, Instagram at the Nerdcore, TikTok at the Nerdcore, Patreon.com/the Nerdcore. Discord link is in the description below. $1 a month for Patreon gets you access to this episode live early and after before anybody else gets to watch it. Will it continue to be through EV Mux? I don't fucking know. I'm trying to find out right now. I'll tell you that. Because if I can't save this and I have to constantly write these banners out every single time, I'm not gonna be happy.
That's gonna be a problem.
Yeah, it's gonna be a massive problem. And if I can't figure out the fucking whole like transitions here, that's gonna be a massive problem too. Yeah, go and check this out there, guys. We would really appreciate it. And of course, we want to thank you guys so much for joining us. We want to thank our wonderful, I'm sorry, not our wonderful patrons. We do love our patrons, which they're great. But if you're watching this on YouTube, make sure you leave a like on the video, subscribe to the channel, click the notification bell so you don't miss another review that drops on the channel. On the podcast side of things, make sure that you leave a 5-star review and you leave a like, and you follow us on your favorite podcast app of choice. All that helps us out so much. And of course, thank you guys so much for joining us. Make sure that you check out our Patreon, like I said, and we want to thank our patrons. Without them, none of this is possible. As always, thank you to all of y'all who are helping us, and you guys are the amazing people that you are because you guys are freaking amazing. And of course, Brad, can you tell them about our executive producer, Shane?
You can follow our friend Shane at twitch.tv/XSRK or on Twitter at thriftedil, or go buy something from the stuff you got at dpop.com/Prison City Vintage.
All right, man. And of course, we will be back for another review live on Patreon tomorrow. But this is going to actually go up the next day for y'all in the public. But with that said, let's go ahead and get them out of here, Brad.
All right, Raul. Thank you for being host as always. Thank to all our listeners out there. Thank you to Stacy for joining us in chat. Thank to our Patreon supporters. We appreciate each and every one of you. And to end this episode, make sure before you leave the house you have more than 300 francs in your pocket. Young Yoda out.